Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim and this is Tim the Trailman. And don't mind the warmer weather looking behind me. We are still journeying to Alaska, just traveling, and these videos won't edit themselves. So on today's journey, we're going to be heading from Watson Lake over to Beaver Creek, Canada. It's the last town in Canada, but as you can tell by the title, we accidentally wind up in Tok. So let's go on this journey and figure out why. Okay, so from Watson Lake to Beaver Creek is going to be about 900 kilometers, which is just over 550 miles, I believe, if my math is correct.
All right, leaving Watson Lake, 4:40 a.m. local time, 7:40 a.m. Eastern time. There's the Signpost forest that we did not visit, but lots of people like to visit it. Once we leave town, all the street lights will be out and it'll be dark again.
It is crazy here again, just right outside of town. Once the street lights go away, how dark it gets. And if it wasn't for the diodynamic ditch lights on the truck, I would be hurting to see.
Possible snow.
While snow was in the forecast, the weather's always unpredictable up here, and I was hoping not to run into snow until later or actually make the entire trip without seeing snow, but the weather had other plans for me.
Headed towards Teslin. Looks like snow on the road.
Definitely more snow on the road, and as oncoming drivers would come by, of course, I'd be courteous and turn off my ditch lights not to blind them. But you can see more snow on the shoulders here.
We left at 4:40 local time this morning. Now it's 7:04 a.m. and it's still pitch black outside.
The directions are pretty easy. No turns for over 7 hours, and we're getting okay fuel mileage, but got a long ways to go. The views pulling into Teslin are hard to see as the sun has not really come up yet, but the mountains are in clear view.
Entering Teslin. This is the Teslin Bay. There are some mountains in the background, but they don't focus in the morning. It is 8:04 a.m. local time.
Without any oncoming traffic, I would always try to take the middle of the bridge, as they always never seem wide enough when pulling a load, but you can see my luck ran out as a car was quickly approaching and I had to scoot over to my side. Couple obligatory truck and trailer photos here in Teslin as we just stopped to use the restroom. Didn't need gas because Teslin is not that far from Watson Lake. Back on the road outside of Teslin, you can expect to have cell signal for about 10 to 15 minutes before losing it.
Leaving Teslin, going towards Whitehorse. It never looks as good on the video though. It never does. Snow-capped mountains.
continuation from the previous day's journey. Around every corner is just epic views of snow-capped mountains. If you ever get the chance to drive to Alaska and you enjoy road trips, I highly encourage it. You can pull over into the rest area where there's vault toilets, and this is right here at the Yukon River. It's the only place along the Alcan that you will drive across the Yukon River, and the sun was coming up, making for some beautiful views and just a chance to get out and stretch your legs. I highly encourage stopping and enjoying the scenery in the Yukon River and its history itself.
Here comes Tim. Tim the trail man. Pulling up to the Yukon River. This is the Yukon River Bridge.
This is just driving over what I believe the north end of Whitehorse. We missed the first turn to go down into the city, so we're going to make a U-turn here at the other side of town and pull into Whitehorse. But you can see if you live in Whitehorse, you have views for days and just enjoying the mountains. And this is the next largest and last largest city in Canada before you reach the border. Many small towns to come. We went about 280 miles on that tank of gas, getting about 10.8 miles to the gallon, and filling up for 185 Canadian dollars. Whitehorse is a town that's just basically a big rectangle for the main road, and so navigating is pretty easily. You have a couple of fuel options as well as food to stop by and get a snack before heading out. And your next town will be Grand Junction. Overall, I do encourage you to stop and fill up your car and your belly here in Whitehorse. Whether it's wintertime or summertime, the town is wide open. If my memory serves me correctly, you will have cell signal all the way from Whitehorse to Grand Junction. I think it's only about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive on a straight shot on the highway. The views here again are just unbelievable. It's a simple drive and the road is paved, and up until this point the road has been in great condition. That's going to change shortly here after a couple towns. So keep following along as we make this journey all the way to Tok, Alaska.
looks like snow, but it smells like smoke. This is Haines Junction. We've got a fast gas on the right with diesel. Speed limit 50 kilometers per hour. We've got a motel. We're going to take a right to continue towards Fairbanks. People going to Haines will travel straight. Alright, kilometer 1633 marker, Bootier Summit. The second highest point on the highway between Whitehorse and Fairbanks.
Here's the big lake on the right. Going on this part of the highway, you're going to go around Kluane Lake. It's a beautiful lake on the right. It's going to be a long journey as you go around it with the mountains on the left. There might be some bighorn ram that you might see, but the views of the lake are just stunning, and we were blessed with clear blue skies. And so go with me on this journey as we travel around Kluane or Kluane Lake. Let me know in the comments on how you pronounce it.
River. Junction Bay, 2 kilometers.
Like this was all dirt and potholes and
Alright, Junction Bay. Population in 2017 was 55 people, according to milepost. The whole town right here. Highway maintenance. Fast gas. And a lake.
Alrighty, so as you saw, we just drove through Destruction Bay, and from here on out, it's going to be truck and trailer versus the battle of the road with frost heaves.
How bad are the roads? From Destruction Bay to Beaver Creek. It's pretty bad. bumpy. Sometimes you see little flags on the side of the road. That's where the bumps are. Sometimes it's bumpy and there aren't any flags.
Though the road quality has diminished, the views have not. Not all of the sections from Destruction Bay to the border are paved.
Alright, pulling in to Beaver Creek, most westerly community in Canada. We left, where were we this morning? Watson Lake? We left Watson Lake this morning at 4:40 a.m. and it is now 4 p.m. It's been a long day. Westmark Inn does not look open. There's a mini mart, which also does not look open. There's visitor information, a couple of houses, Buckshot Betty's coming up on the right.
We were hoping to find a room here in Beaver Creek.
Oh, it says no vacancy. Sorry, we're closed. For sale. We've got Ada's across the street. There's one vehicle. And we got a fast gas. What's that open?
This is where we stopped at.
Alright, looks like the fast gas is open. Oh, and they have a big polar bear statue.
Okay, so after a long day, 555 miles of driving, and we've burned through 51 gallons of fuel. And in Canadian money, $245 to fill up here. I think that's the most expensive on the trip. But yet, without knowing it, there was no room in Beaver Creek. Both places were closed. So we had about a 2-hour drive from Beaver Creek to Tok, Alaska. So while exciting to get to cross the border back into America, we were not expecting to spend more than the 12 hours on the road that we've already spent. Coming from the Canadian border side, you will first go past the Canadian checkpoint for customs that you're traveling east out of Alaska, and then you have about 25 miles to go to actually get to the Alaskan border crossing, and then you will head into the customs border for the United States. But Little known fact, the Alaskan state sign is before border crossing.
Entering the United States.
So here we are approaching border crossing. They don't really encourage filming, so we're going to put the camera down here as we get back into the US.
Giant culvert installation. Looks bigger than a truck.
Right when you think the roads are going to get better, you go through a construction zone with a pilot car. That's one of the largest culverts I've ever seen.
We just crossed the border at Alcan border, and we're back on U.S. soil, and the road's already better, and there's no flurries.
Very fortunate to still have the sun up, even though full overcast. Not very beautiful views at this point, but with the daylight, it continued to be safe driving conditions, and the road definitely improved on the United States side. So we're just now heading due west, straight into Tok, Alaska. So there we have it, another 110 miles down. We're stopping here in Tok. It's the first big town you come into Alaska. So we burned another 10 gallons of fuel, and Fast Eddie's restaurant is the only one that's open during the winter time in Tok. And then we stayed here at the Young's Motel in the same parking lot.